Streamline your captioning workflow with Closed Caption Creator's custom keyboard shortcuts. To begin, go to the Edit menu in the top toolbar and select Shortcut Keys. This will display the Shortcuts menu. Shortcuts are organized by Workspace. We'll discuss workspaces in another video. For now, we'll look at configuring shortcuts for the default workspace. Start by selecting Default from the Workspace drop-down menu. Next, we'll set a keyboard shortcut to control the playback of the video player. Select the Play Pause Video shortcut from the list of functions. Click inside the key command box and import your shortcut. In this example, I'll set the Play Pause command to be the backquote key. Let's close the shortcut menu and watch this work. We'll import a video into our project using the File, Import, Media File option. Note that we can now toggle playback using the shortcut we've configured.
Basically, braised short ribs. The term braising is basically cooking something at a really low heat.
Let's return to the Shortcuts menu and set a few more shortcuts. To add a new caption event, we'll use the Tab key. And we'll set up the reverse and forward 3 seconds to be the minus and equals sign. Finally, I'll set up the Auto Format shortcut to be Ctrl-D to show how modifiers work. If we decide we want to remove a shortcut, we can always select it from the Shortcut menu and click the Remove button. Now we're ready to caption using shortcuts. We can start by selecting the Input box and toggle playback using the backquote key.
Basically, braised short ribs.
We can also pause using the same shortcut. We can now import our caption text and auto format using the Auto Format shortcut, Ctrl-D. We can continue playback and add a new event using the Tab key.
The term braising is basically cooking something at a really low heat.
If we miss what's been said, we can rewind and fast forward using the minus and equals shortcuts, even during playback.
Braising is basically cooking something at a really low heat.
Shortcuts are saved to your local settings, so the next time you open Closed Caption Creator, your shortcuts will remain. Shortcuts are also configured based on the workspace you've selected. This means you can have different shortcuts for different features based on your workspace. For more information, please visit closedcaptioncreator.com.